Aloha, you moneymakers. This is Indar Lang, and I'm super excited to have Kyland here, Kyland Taylor. He's been working with us for, I don't know, almost a year now.
Yeah,
This must
just
be
about.
coming up. We're going to have a great episode today. We're going to talk about making money and make your money work for you. So let's get into it, guys, and let's go. If I told you guys that subscribe button is the only thing that's separating you from financial freedom, because knowledge is power. I'm going to give you all the knowledge so you can succeed in life. I'd like to introduce Kylan. So you've been working with us for about a year now. Tell us a little bit about your background in sales and some of the stuff you've done before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, my first sales job ever, I was 14 years old, no, 15 years old, and I was knocking doors in solar. So I've kind of been through the school of hard knocks. That's where it all started. From there, I've had very different sales jobs. I was worked at a dealership a few times when I was 16, sold life insurance, and I've been selling real estate. Well, in the real estate industry, in some degree for the past six and a half years now.
You know, it's funny. Actually, Kylan came to us. We were looking for a project manager actually at the time, and his DISC test, his personality test, was better off in sales and marketing and better off at talking to people. He's great at communicating with people, and I thought that was very ironic that we were looking for something else, but Kylan came about, and his personality was just this perfect trait of what we needed elsewhere. But actually, that position wasn't ready yet.
Mm.
We were still kind of growing and kind of leading into that. We knew we wanted to get there.
Yeah.
And I think it was a couple months before we.
I think that's where I initially showed you my sales skills because I was following up with Ella and you for 2 months. Like,
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. When can I get the position?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of happened really naturally. I showed up for the interview, was talking to one of our old employees here, Ella. We miss you if you're watching. And it just Indar came out and we got to talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I think you'd be a better sales guy. You just got to give me a couple months." So
Yeah.
I bit the bullet. I waited, and I'm very grateful that I did. I'm very happy to be here.
Sales is not easy too, and it's a right personality trait, and that's a key point that need to talk about is everyone is great at any job they do, but they just do so much better when it's a personality trait that they enjoy.
Right.
You know, you can be, wanting to do this or that, but people just excel better when they're doing it. Like, I'm very task orientated. I get a sense of completion when I do tasks. You know, Kylan's he loves talking on the phone. He loves talking to people.
Yeah. Closing a deal. It's my favorite thing in the world.
I don't necessarily love picking up the phone sometimes myself, but yeah, it's pretty exciting. So Kylan came on and started working with us through finding deals as well, and then eventually got into our acquisition of finding investors and working with investors, which is a huge role in our industry, in our business, because we have a lot of people. There's like 200 to 300 people.
Yeah.
We're working with at a time.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. It's a lot for me as trying to juggle all the many hats that I have to juggle.
Yeah.
So it's great to have an expert at that and to talk about investing and talking about investing your money, and having people understand it's what we do, having people having trust in us is really huge. And for me, the hard thing for me was giving this off to somebody else,
right,
that they have to still trust, it's our company, it's us,
right,
that we're going to, we're doing it together, because this is really important. To trust in people is huge to me.
Right. And that was a very careful transition.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember we introduced you to a lot of the people. We did a mass email to introduce you. And even through, I think, certain people, I would just introduce you.
Yeah.
Even we just had an investor today, and we just introduced, so they know, it's a team environment. It's not just one person. And most investors out there understand that, I don't have the time to talk as much as I can on the phone as everybody.
Yeah, it's better off that you have somebody like myself doing that part of it, for sure. Yeah.
But let's get into it. So we're going to talk about investing with us, for example, and some of the things that people maybe worried about or push back about or concerns about. We'll dive into some of those hard things that we have to deal with. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I can just start with the step-by-step process of how everything goes, and I can tell you about some of the objections that I get and concerns. Obviously, the first step is you got to talk to me. So whether you want to or you don't want to, it's got to happen. I love talking on the phone. So, you guys, if I'm on the phone with you and I'm talking too much, just let me know and we'll move on. But that's the first call. Typically, I like to find out about our investors, see your guys' background. really try to build a solid relationship with you guys. Indoor's been doing this for 10 years, and we plan to keep doing that for decades to come. And the only way to do that is keeping the trust of our investors, having really solid relationships with you folks, and just making sure that we're doing our job correctly on
It's
our
funny
end.
you say that. There's an investor that works with us for a while now, and he's worried that he's trying to he's using this as his retirement, as
Yeah.
a few of our investors do, and he's like, make sure you guys are doing this 7 years from now. I'm planning to retire in 7 years, and I thought that was funny
Yeah.
that because they're
Yeah.
making a great return that they can live off of.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have one investor, and I was talking to her recently, and she was telling me that she's made more money investing with us than she has throughout her whole career. And she's one of those investors who pulled out her money, gave it to us, and she's been growing with us for I think for 5+ years now.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, she's we have a handful of investors who are like that as well. So, but yeah, second step would be, let's say you reviewed the property, it all sounds good to you, you like the interest rate. We're going to go over the terms in the next step. We're going to prep the documents for you to review. This is also how you're secured. This is probably the number one question that I get asked, and sometimes I get people on the phone like, "What questions am I not asking you?" Right? I don't know what the process is, and it's really simple. I credit Indar for how simple he's made this process, but the number one objection is, how is my money secured? Right? These are large amounts of money that we're intaking to perform on these projects, and we do that through the promissory note and the mortgage deed. And occasionally we can add you guys to the builder's insurance as well if that's requested. So that's typically the process. And then after that, it's ready to wire and get your money growing. Somewhere in between those two steps, I'm working in the back end. We're setting you guys up on the portal.
Let's talk about the portal.
Yeah, setting you guys up on the portal. Inside of the portal, it's a great tool. This is where you can actually log in. You can see your money growing in real time, and you're also going to get updates on the project that you're invested in. You're going to get emails from us. Nothing spam. We typically don't do anything like that. And you'll also be able to see our upcoming deals as well. So
yeah, the portal is really nice. I really appreciate it. It was a next level step for me because we were old school. We started,
Yeah.
I think I started with pen and paper at one point, and then got into, of course, Excel and just tracking things on Excel. And then now having the portal, it's just huge because now all you investors can come in and you can see the deals that we have lined up,
Right.
see past deals that we've funded.
Right.
You can see your contribution growing, how much you put in, all the documents in through there. It's also a secured website where you can invest and put your money,
Right.
Through a secured place, which is amazing. It makes it just a one-stop shop, a lot easier for us, and we can communicate directly back to
exactly.
you
Yep.
on there as well. Keep you updated with what's going on this particular deal. Here's some video. Here's some pictures. It's just a great central location for
Yeah.
all the different aspects of it all, and it's just easier to track everything,
Right.
because with what's going on, and even easy to track on our side too, with
Absolutely.
the amount of people that we have coming through now, and we're very thankful for everyone that comes on there,
Yeah.
and make it,
Yeah, I would say if you're an investor with us already and you're not using the portal, use it. Get in there, check it out, click around. It's really powerful. I think without it, we'd be a lot less organized if we didn't have something as powerful as this tool that we have.
Yeah.
So it's great. Especially you're an investor. You just got an update that your deal's ready to get closed out. You want to reinvest that money. Well, you can just click right into the open deals tab, check out what's going on, and give me a call, or I'll probably give you a call.
Yeah.
And just go from there. So it's really powerful. We love that thing.
So what are some of the other questions you get from investors that you hear pop up a lot?
I think another big one is people want to speak to investors who've invested with us in the past. Typically people feel a little bit more comfortable when we tell them, we've been doing this 10 years. We've done over, 130 projects, probably close to 150 now. So that gives people some confidence and trust in us. But I also think it's really good to connect with our investors. Number one, it's great to network with these people. You guys are doing the same thing, and you get to hear their side of the story. Like the investor that I was just speaking about. It's great for somebody to hear, somebody who's already maybe achieved the goal that an investor is looking for. Right? I have all this money. I need to retire soon. I don't want to pick up another job. My IRA is not growing at all. My savings account's growing at 0.0005%. It's like what would I do to put my money to work? And obviously we pay very handsome returns on our investments. Yeah. And like I said, just having an individual go in and speak to one of our prominent investors is it happens quite often, I
Yeah.
would say, and I recommend it, to be honest. Like I said, it's somebody who's already reached that goal line that some of our investors are trying to get to. So
And so there's a lot of places people don't realize that they can get funds from. And a great one we've been working with a lot of investors who have Roths or self-directed IRAs,
yeah,
which is pretty cool because you can have these Roths or self-directed, and they're growing and they're doing their thing. Maybe you
right,
worked hard for 20 years and you put, your company matches and you built this Roth. You can borrow against that Roth, and that Roth still thinks that money's existing.
right,
So like you'll take that money out of that Roth, and but that Roth is still growing and thinking that money's still in there, which it technically is. It's a
yeah,
loan,
yeah,
and you can put that money now to make money elsewhere. So this is a great strategy. We've been really enjoying that. Working with people with, and it's really a simple process.
yeah,
It's a little bit more paperwork, but it's a pretty simple process.
yeah. I mean, it takes if you're comparing it to a traditional investment, we can usually get that done in about a day. Money comes in, and everything's wired and taken care of. With an IRA, it's just a couple more emails back and forth with the custodian there. They want to see the paperwork as well. They approve it, and it's maybe 2-3 days
Yeah.
longer at max. So it's also really quick, simple process.
I've
Yeah.
helped a lot of people too have HELOCs as well. When a
Mm,
lot of people own their own properties, or family has owned it for years, they don't realize you have equity sitting in these
right.
properties. And when the market was a little better, of course, market's a little different right now, but we had a bunch of people who would take HELOCs off their properties and they would invest and make that money work for you. That's the concept we're talking about, making that money
Yeah.
work for you, because you could invest a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Uh, there's stocks with whatever, maybe get a 3 or 4% return. Good luck.
Yeah.
Bitcoin, you can try that out.
Yeah.
I don't know how that goes. I mean, you can. It's a big gamble,
Good
of
luck.
course, with
Yeah.
those different kinds of things. Mutual funds and CDs, very secure, very
Yep.
safe,
Yep.
but you're gonna get a very lot lower returns, maybe 3%, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, there's all these other different business ventures, but real estate is one of those things that just stand the test of time. It's
Yeah.
kind of tried and true. In 30 years, real estate, you just look smart owning. Real
Yeah.
estate's one of those. You always need it. People always need a place to stay. People always need a roof over their head. So it's just kind of one of those things you can see, touch, feel. You understand very easily.
Yeah.
What we do is very simple to understand. We buy a house really low.
Yep.
We add some value by making it nice, and we're gonna sell it for more money. It's not rocket science sometimes compared to dividend distributions, some of all these other stuff that
Yeah.
you can do.
Yeah, which is also super appealing to most of our investors, right? Because a lot of these people are, I mean, we even have a few who've done fix and flip themselves in the past, or have short term rentals, and they're sick of the headaches, right? They're sick of having to do all the work themselves. So,
Yeah.
one thing I love to tell people is this is a way to make passive income in real estate without the headache. Like
Yep.
you're not having to do anything. You just got to sit there. Your money's going to work for you, and we're keeping you updated throughout the process. So it's if you're looking to make passive income in real estate, this is at least a great stepping stone, I would say, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you get to speak with Indar all the time, see what's going on in the projects, and then maybe one day you can venture out on your own. But this is a great place.
Yeah, we've had some investors that started with just investing with us,
Right.
and then they eventually learned a little bit, and then they did one or two themselves. Actually, they just recently came back as one investor. They're not doing it themselves anymore.
Yeah,
It's not as easy as
it's the headaches.
Yeah, it's not as easy
Yeah.
as it seems.
I was asking Indar today, like, what you have so many projects going on all the time.
Yeah.
I can see that it's stressful, but you have to have a certain kind of passion, which you do for it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like if you weren't doing this, you'd probably be miserable.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. So
So what is some of the perks? Let's talk about the last part of some of the perks.
yeah, some of the perks. So again, passive income in real estate, you're not having to move a finger after you've come into the portal. I mean, you can go in there as much as you want, but after that, your money's just growing. All the deals that we have right now, we're offering 12%. I believe we're going to continue to do that as well. So that's very handsome. Like I said, compared to your traditional savings accounts, CDs, IRAs, all that kind of stuff, we're blowing our competition out of the water in terms of that. Another huge perk too is just the rate of return. I mean, we can typically, the timeline of these is, on our single family deals, max, would you say 14 months, 13 months
Yeah.
on most of them?
Well, the worst ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Longer ones, I should
Longer
say.
ones, yeah.
Some of them we flipped in like 6 months. We've done one in like 4 months. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you just got to think. I mean, if you're at a 12% rate, I mean, your money's growing really fast in that first year. And you just continue to roll that over. I mean, just the way that we can come into a project, get it done, get it closed out, your money's already back to you, in maybe a year, and it's grown 12%. Like that's fantastic. I want to find anywhere else where they offer that, at a bank or IRA or somewhere where we're offering something that quick. So
And we do little incentives too. There's tax write-offs too.
yep,
So if you're from the mainland, you want to come visit your investment here in Hawaii, and we'll talk about real estate. You can write off your whole trip by
right,
visiting Hawaii, which is huge, of course. So
yeah,
we'll have coffee, have lunch, check out the property, and write off the trip.
that's right,
So
that's right,
a little incentive for anyone in the mainland. We also do some tax incentives
right.
with certain deals. We only do it one or two a year.
Yeah, we don't have any right now.
We don't have any right now. We'll buy some larger assets, and we'll do some cost segregation, give you guys tax write-offs.
Right.
There's a little more complicated structure of it all, but it's out there for anyone who has some really tax burdens where you're making too much money. You need those tax write-offs.
Right.
So we do a lower interest rate on those, but a higher tax write-off. So you're actually making a lot more technically in rates.
Yeah.
With all the tax incentives.
Yep, and you'll see me market those deals. We're talking about cost seg when we have those deals, and
Yeah.
whenever you see me email you about that, and you're interested in it, I'm telling you, contact me very quickly because those deals are gone usually.
Yeah, we don't
pretty
do
quick.
too many of those.
Yeah,
Yeah. And that's more for the people who want the big tax incentive
right,
and so forth. And we'll talk to you about it if you're more interested in that process because it's not easy process as normal.
right.
So Kylan, what is your why? Why do you do this? You just had a brand new kid and
Yeah, yeah. So I'm married. I just had my first son. He's 2 months old, and we plan to grow our family quite a bit. My why of being in this industry is I come from a background of miners and guys who work on the oil rigs and all those kind of things. And one thing that I've noticed is that you have to work very, very hard to earn your wage there in those places, which I have no problem with hard work, but you're trading a lot of time for your dollars, and you don't get to spend as much time with your family. So my why is to build a legacy for my family that can continue on. I think that's why I align so much with Indar and why I'm so happy I'm here.
did you notice your why change once you had kids?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I started going after it a lot quicker too.
Yeah.
I noticed.
You
So
know, you have a really reason to do
yeah,
more.
yeah, absolutely. So
So last part, we have a Q&A. We had a investor ask a question. Um, I'll read you you can answer. The question is, I'm a bit on the shy side. I don't know how or what to say during the next meetup. What can you recommend for those who are more introverted but want to make their connections at the next meetup? Isaiah.
that's a good question. I would say you're definitely not the only one in the room who feels a little bit anxious or nervous. To go up and just ask a question or start talking to people. Really, what I'll say is the best way to do it is maybe find me. I have no problem to talking to anybody. I can get you comfortable pretty quick, hopefully, to where you can start walking around and talking to other people. But just put yourself out there. Everybody at our networks are very open. Very how would you say it? They're just good people.
Yeah.
That we have. So I mean, everybody's easy to talk to. Everybody's happy to answer any questions that you have. I mean, we're all there for the same reason at these events too.
A lot more
right?
people
So,
are shy than you realize. I'm a shy
yeah,
person as well
yeah,
myself. So uh, just remember that other person is probably shy too.
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
Indar. It's a guy on stage,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he's got a little bit worse.
So don't worry about it. Just
Yeah,
go up there. Hey, how you guys doing? Just say hi. That's all I need to do. You just start with hi. The rest will happen.
yeah,
Just say hey, hi. Just so if you can work on that, just walk into a group and say hey, hi. Just stand there.
right,
And,
right.
it goes a long way. A deal of the week. So we have a deal of the week that we are just hopefully about to fund. And this is we call it a wholesale deal, but it's our Ho'onua deal. It's out in Aiea, and I think we're about to get this thing funded, but we're still looking for some more people potentially.
Yeah. So this one is it's a light rehab. It's something that we've done, over 100 times. What we need right now is I think we need about $200,000 left just for the gap funding. The rehab is really simple. Essentially, we're going in there. There's, would you say, 3 different floors throughout the house
Yeah,
that
they got
don't
3 different
match.
floors,
Yeah,
some tiling.
tiling, fixtures.
Yeah, it's a
Things like
nice
that.
house.
Yeah,
It's actually
beautiful
really
home.
nice. So
Yeah,
just new flooring throughout, new paint,
Yeah.
a lot of like caulking and little things, easy stuff that can go a long way. You know, cabinet handles. We'll change out the fixtures like faucets, lighting, things like that that really will make a big influence, make a pop.
Right.
But will go a long way because this house is actually really nice.
Yeah.
It's actually really well taken care of. They're very clean people. Um, some landscaping that's going to be a little different. I don't know what we're doing.
What I'll say about this deal though is it's great for investors who are on the fence, and maybe you're one of those people and you might be worried about, well, some of these rehabs are massive. You know, sometimes we'll do a borderline tear down, and there's obviously more that goes into those. This is a very simple fix and flip. You know, so if you're on the fence, you want to start out with us. It's a quicker return on this one as well. Same 12%. This is a really good deal for somebody who's just wanting to get in, get a good feel for us. Yeah, and give me a call if you're interested. I'm happy to discuss it with you.
Yeah, call anytime, talk story.
Yeah.
Ask questions. Doesn't hurt to learn and ask. So yeah, thank you guys all for listening. Thank you for being a part of the podcast. We really appreciate it. Please like and comment and subscribe and just ask questions. We really appreciate the questions and it doesn't hurt to ask. Like and subscribe. You can follow Kyland on his Instagram is KYWSC on his Instagram. Or you can call him at 818-960-0181 and just call him, talk story, talk about investing.
Yeah.
We're happy to help and answer any questions you guys have. So thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for being a part.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Look forward to speaking with you.
Aloha. Aloha.